techniques in analytical chemistry. So let's move ahead with the topic, basic techniques in analytical chemistry. So before proceeding that, I would like to know, is there any difficult doubt from your side? So please let me know. What are the topic we have seen in last lecture? Is there any difficult doubt to anyone regarding this basic analytical techniques? जो हम लोग normally घर के अंदर household के अंदर भी use करते हैं, है ना? So what are this? No. Yes, please. Okay. Okay, so let's have a bit recap of the topic what we have seen here in this basic analytical techniques. As we know very well in chemistry, we are dealing with the analysis of the substances or the chemical substances which come across. We need to have the basic analysis, and analysis may be in a different ways, and for that we need a proper analytical techniques. So as we have seen yesterday, here in the chapter we are how to discuss some very basic and fundamental analytical techniques like filtration, like crystallization, like distillation, and the chromatographic technique, which is used for the purification or either separation of the substances. So that is what we have seen. So yesterday we have seen that is filtration process. So basically, before entering into the technique, we know it very well. Suppose we have any of the solid substance, and that solid substance has the impurities, and if we have to separate out this impurities and solid substance, as well as we have to purify the substances, then we need to follow some certain procedures. The solid substance, whatever we have, that may have the impurities. If we dissolve the solid into the suitable solvent, then impurities may or may not dissolve into the given solvent. So when impurities also dissolve into the solvent, how we are going to separate impurities from the substance, pure substance, is the one thing. And if that impurity do not dissolve into the given solvent, then how we are going to separate them? That was the big question, and we know it very well. When impurities do not dissolve into the solvent, then we can use the filtration method, where we have seen the filtration as well as we have seen the filtration under suction or using suction. Whenever both that is substance and impurities dissolve into the given solvent, then we use a crystallization process, especially for the solids. So in order to separate the impurities from the substance or the substances which are mainly in a solid state, we use filtration method, or we may use a crystallization method. And whenever we have the liquids, then we need to go for the distillation process, and so onwards for the chromatography. But before entering into the distillation, we have to discuss crystallization process. Yesterday, we have seen first part of the crystallization. So crystallization के अंदर क्या-क्या involved है कल हमने देखा, that is what we can say crystallization. See, सबसे पहले हमने देखा कि solid substance is there with impurities. Solid substance is there with impurities. हम लोग सबसे पहले क्या करते हैं? We'll dissolve it into the suitable solvent. We'll dissolve it into suitable solvent. Then there arises two possibilities. Number one possibility, both solid is soluble and impurities also soluble. पहला केस. और दूसरा, solid substance is soluble and impurities are insoluble. Impurities are insoluble. Here we use the technique called as filtration. Here we can say here we use the technique called as filtration. Because impurities are insoluble, so we use the filtration. This is number one. And number two is filtration with suction. With suction pump or suction के साथ उसे filtrate करते हैं. Or when both are soluble, then we use number one, that is crystallization process. And number two is fractional crystallization process. Okay, so there is a crystallization process and there is a fractional crystallization process. So what is this crystallization? What is this fractional crystallization? Or when we use this? When to use the crystallization process and when to use fractional crystallization? That is a big question, and for that, we have seen yesterday definition. Crystallization is the process in which a pure substance is separated from the impurities by dissolving it into a suitable solvent, and then again it is crystallized. So impurities remain into the soluble form, and the solid substance, pure substance, will be separated out. So this is what is a crystallization. What is fractional crystallization? When there are two substances mixed with each other. These are the solid substances mixed with each other. Both are soluble into the solid. We have to separate out them. Then we use this fractional crystallization process. See, to separate substance from the impurities, both are soluble in water. We use crystallization process. And for separating two solid substances, two miscible solid substances, two solid substances which are mixed with each other, having a difference in solubility, is used a fractional crystallization process. ये दो process use हम लोग करते हैं. कल के लेक्चर में हमने फिल्ट्रेशन देखा, फिल्ट्रेशन विद सक्शन देखा हमने, और क्रिस्टलाइजेशन भी हमने देखा. क्रिस्टलाइजेशन के अंदर हम लोग क्या क्या करते हैं ये हम अच्छी तरह जानते हैं. दैट इज नंबर 1. फर्स्ट, the substance will be dissolved into the suitable solvent and the saturated solution will be made. Then next is nothing but you can say super saturated solution will be formed. Whenever it is heat, super saturated will be formed, and then that will be filtered at a hot condition. So hot condition में filter करेंगे तो जो undissolved impurities है वो निकल जाएंगे, and the filtrate will be collected. Then the filter is heated and allowed to cool down. Then the substance will crystallize and then it is filtered. So filter paper will have the pure solid substance, and the filtrate will have the impurities which are soluble in that. So this is the separation what we use for this filtration process. Filtration में क्या होता है? Take a solid substance with the impurities, dissolve it into the suitable solvent, make a saturated solution, then heat it to make a super saturated solution, then filter in the hot condition, again take a filtrate, heat the filtrate, evaporate it, concentrate it, and again when it is cooled down, at that time substance crystallizes, then that is filtered and that is removed. So that is the process what we use as crystallization process. Now let's move to this fractional crystallization. Before entering into the crystallization, कल हमने एक एक्टिविटी देखा था कि सोडियम क्लोराइड हमारे घर के अंदर होता है, ये प्रोसेस हम घर में भी कर सकते हैं. एट द सेम टाइम द चॉइस ऑफ सॉल्वेंट, हम क्रिस्टलाइजेशन के अंदर जहां पे जिसके अंदर डिसॉल्व करने वाले वो जो सॉल्वेंट है, उस सॉल्वेंट का चॉइस किसके ऊपर डिपेंड करता है. तो उसके अंदर तीन कंडीशन बताए गए थे. नंबर 1, दैट सॉल्वेंट शुड बी नॉन रिएक्टिंग विद आवर सॉलिड सब्सटेंस. हमारा जो पहला सब्सटेंस है उसके साथ नॉन रिएक्टिव होना जरूरी है. नंबर 2, this solid substance must be insoluble in cold condition or must be soluble highly in hot condition. और नंबर 3 इसके अंदर का जो हम देखते हैं, that is nothing but you can say here, solution solvent should be easily volatile. That's why it can be easily removed from the substances. So these are the 3 important criteria for that solvent, choice of solvent जिसके अंदर हम ये डिसॉल्व करेंगे वो. ठीक है, तो अभी चलते हैं हम लोग फ्रैक्शनल क्रिस्टलाइजेशन की तरफ, एंड देन विल एंटर इनटू द डिस्टिलेशन प्रोसेस वेयर टू लिक्विड्स विल बी सेपरेटेड. सो पहला देखते हैं हम लोग व्हाट इज फ्रैक्शनल क्रिस्टलाइजेशन. हमारे चैप्टर का नाम है बेसिक टेक्निक्स ऑफ एनालिसिस. उसके अंदर अभी हम देखेंगे टॉपिक का नाम है हमारा फ्रैक्शनल crystallization. Fractional crystallization. Okay. So now, fractional crystallization is used whenever we have to separate 2 or more substances having difference in solubilities in a given solvent. देखिए दो substances हैं. Suppose sugar and salt. Sugar and salt. दो substances हमने mix कर दिया. और मिक्स कर दिया और मुझे अभी सेपरेट आउट करना है. सो हाउ वी आर गोइंग टू सेपरेट आउट देम? सो बाय फ्रैक्शनल क्रिस्टलाइजेशन मेथड. व्हेन 2 or more substances we have to separate out and these substances has difference in solubility. मतलब दोनों सब्सटेंस का solubility सेम नहीं होता है. कोई थोड़ा सा ज्यादा soluble होता है तो कोई थोड़ा सा कम soluble होता है. ये जब होता है तो उस केस में हम लोग फ्रैक्शनल क्रिस्टलाइजेशन ऐसा कहते हैं. तो इसके अंदर इंपॉर्टेंट चीज क्या है? So it is used to separate 2 or more substances. It's very important. 2 or more substances. When we have to separate 2 or more substances, then fractional crystallization is used. इसका principle ऐसा है. That is principle. It is based on difference in. ये बहुत important है. Difference in solubilities. difference in solubility. So it is based on difference in solubility. Solubility different होनी चाहिए दोनों substances की. So what we'll do? What is the procedure? What is the procedure? Procedure क्या आप देखिएगा? Number one, we have a mixture of substances. Suppose we have the mixture of substances. We'll dissolve it into the suitable solvent. देखिए, we'll dissolve in suitable substance. We'll dissolve it in suitable substance. Furthermore, we took a mixture. We'll take a mixture of the two or more substances. We'll dissolve it into suitable solvent having difference in solubilities. We'll make saturated solution. अभी यहां से आगे वही स्टेप होता है थोड़ा सा देखिए. We'll make a saturated solution. Then saturated solution के बाद we'll make a super saturated solution. अभी ये दोनों के अंदर डिफरेंस तो आप अच्छी तरह जानते हैं. What is saturated solution? What is super saturated solution? Saturated solution वो होता है जिसके अंदर suppose we have taken 1 liter of water and we have dissolved 100 gram of substance in that one, and that 1 liter can maximum accommodate 100 gram. तो उतना हमने डाल दिया, so it's done. But we'll put the substance in a such way that no more quantity can be dissolved. तो थोड़ा सा ज्यादा डालेंगे तो इसलिए थोड़े से particles undissolved format में रहेंगे. Then we'll heat it. When we make it super saturated, तो इसके अंदर क्या आता है? Heating आता है. So here heating is involved. So when we have to make it super saturated, heating is involved. So cold condition में dissolution less होता है, hot condition में dissolution ज्यादा होता है. That's why it becomes super saturated solution. That is by heating. Then hot filtration. When it is in a hot condition, it is filtered in order to remove impurities which are insoluble. देखिए ऐसा तो होगा नहीं, सारे के सारे impurities ऐसे जो soluble है, कुछ impurity ऐसे भी होंगे जो insoluble है. तो हम जब सुपर सैचुरेटेड सॉल्यूशन बनाएंगे हॉट कंडीशन में फिल्टर किया जाता है. रीजन बिहाइंड दैट, कुछ जो इंप्योरिटीज उसके अंदर रहेंगे जो इनसॉल्युबल है वो फिल्टर पेपर के ऊपर रहेंगे. फिल्टर हम लोग कलेक्ट फिल्ट्रेट हम लोग कलेक्ट कर नीचे का. ओके, उस फिल्ट्रेट को फिल्ट्रेट लेंगे, हॉट फिल्टर करेंगे. देन विल टेक अ फिल्ट्रेट. फिल्ट्रेट क्या होता है मैंने बताया लास्ट टाइम. अब देखिएगा, सपोज दिस इज कंटेनर, दिस इज कंटेनर इन व्हिच वी हैव, this is funnel. ये हमारा funnel है. ओके, और इसके अंदर ये हमारा पार्चमेंट पेपर या फिर हमारा फिल्टर पेपर है. इसके अंदर हमने सॉल्यूशन पावर किया. सो यहाँ पर जो कलेक्ट होता है, दिस इज कॉल्ड एज फिल्ट्रेट, एंड हियर जो रहता है दिस इज कॉल्ड एज रेसिड्यू. तो हमने जब सॉल्यूशन मिक्स किया, सुटेबल सॉल्वेंट में मिक्स किया, डिसॉल्व हो गया, सैचुरेटेड सॉल्यूशन बनाया, मतलब कुछ पार्टिकल्स ऐसे थे जो डिसॉल्व नहीं होते. फिर उसे हीट किया. हीट करने के बाद वो सुपर सैचुरेटेड बनता है. थोड़ा और क्वांटिटी डाल दिया, नो मोर क्वांटिटी डिसॉल्व्स. देन उसके बाद हमने उसे हॉट कंडीशन में फिल्टर किया. हॉट कंडीशन में फिल्टर करने का कारण यह है कि फिल्ट्रेट यहाँ पे आ जाएगा और जो अनडिसॉल्व इंप्योरिटीज है वो यहाँ पे कलेक्ट होती है, रेसिड्यू का वो हटाते हैं. ये फिल्ट्रेट है. ये फिल्ट्रेट लेंगे हम लोग, दैट इस फिल्टर को वापस हम लोग हीट करेंगे. इस फिल्टर को वापस हीट करेंगे, हीट करके यूपोरेट करेंगे ताकि थोड़ा सा उसके अंदर का सॉल्वेंट निकल जाए और सॉल्यूशन बहुत ज्यादा कॉन्सेंट्रेटेड बने और कॉन्सेंट्रेटेड बने. अब देखिए सॉल्यूशन कॉन्सेंट्रेटेड बना, देन इट इज अलाउड टू कूल. अभी इसके अंदर देखिए इट इज अलाउड टू कूल डाउन. दिस सब्सटेंस इज अलाउड टू कूल डाउन. नेक्स्ट प्रोसीजर क्या है? सब्सटेंस इज अलाउड टू कूल डाउन. व्हेन इट इज कूल डाउन, इसके अंदर दो सब्सटेंसेस है. एक सब्सटेंस होगा जो फर्स्ट सब्सटेंस. सो first substance will crystallize, and a second substance will remain in soluble format. देखिए उसके अंदर दो सब्सटेंसेस हैं. सपोज वी हैव सब्सटेंस A and सब्सटेंस A और सब्सटेंस B हमारे पास. सब्सटेंस A and B है. So this is substance A and this is substance B. तो इसके अंदर ये केस कंसीडर किया हमने कि A is least soluble and B is more soluble. तो हमने जो फिल्ट्रेट किया था जिसके अंदर A और B अभी भी है, उसे हमने हीट किया, यूपोरेट किया, और यूपोरेट करने के बाद कूल डाउन होने दिया. कूल डाउन होने के बाद सब्सटेंस A क्रिस्टलाइजेस, B नहीं क्रिस्टलाइज होता. द रीजन बिहाइंड दैट, solubility of B is more और solubility of A is least or less. जो substance less soluble है वो पहले crystallize होगा, इसके crystals नहीं होंगे because इसका solubility ज्यादा है, या अभी भी solution के अंदर रहेगा, इसके crystal crystallize होंगे. ओके, तो इसके crystals ये देखेंगे हम लोग, ये pull down करके suppose it is taken in the evaporating disk, evaporating disk होता है like this one, इसके अंदर हमने लिया है, so this is the substance. तो इसके अंदर क्या होता है, यहाँ पे इसके crystals जमा होते हैं like this, इस तरीके से crystals आ जाते हैं. So these are the crystals. ये substance को यहाँ पे filter करना है. ओके, यहाँ पे filter करना है, ये हटाना, ये नया सेटअप लेना है, इसके अंदर वापस इसे filter करना है. इस substance को हम लोग क्या करेंगे, filter करेंगे, इस substance को filter करेंगे. जैसे filter करेंगे हम लोग, what will happen now? यहाँ पे ये substance रहेगा, जो रहेगा this is substance A, और this is filtrate. filtrate के अंदर क्या रहेगा, filter के अंदर रहेगा solvent plus substance B, ये रहेगा. अब देखिएगा ये substance crystallize हुआ, filtrate किया तो वो यहाँ पे निकल आता है. अब यहाँ पे जो filtrate आएगा, this filters consist of solvent and substance B. Now ये जैसे filter करेंगे, यहाँ पे मैं इधर लिखता हूँ इस तरीके से, filter. अभी filter के बाद क्या होगा, यहाँ पे वापस heating होगा, वापस heating. filter के बाद होगा सबसे पहला substance A is removed because it remains on the filter paper, and there is a substance, there is a filtrate which consists of solvent plus substance B. इसे हम लोग वापस हीट करेंगे, देखिए filtrate जो यहाँ पे उसको वापस हीट करेंगे, concentrate करेंगे, evaporate करेंगे. इसके बाद it is again allowed to cool down. Cool जैसा होगा तो B substance B crystallizes. crystallize करेंगे तो वापस filtrate करेंगे तो B substance is removed, क्योंकि B भी crystallize होगा. इस तरीके से हो जाता है. सो अब देखिएगा once again एक बार देखिएगा कि fractional crystal, अभी ये मैंने पॉइंट्स लिखे, ये जो लिखा है सारा आप बोलेंगे बहुत बड़ा चेन है, इट्स नॉट नथिंग दैट, जस्ट प्रोसीजर है 1 2 3 4 5. ये थोड़ा सा फ्लो चार्ट टाइप किया है, नथिंग मोर देन, बहुत इजी है. टेक अ मिक्सचर हैविंग द सब्सटेंस A and B which we have to separate. Dissolve it into the suitable choice of solvent. Substance A and B are having difference in solubility. One is least soluble, one is more soluble. Whoever is that, situation will decide that. हमने यहाँ पे माना कि A is least soluble and B is more soluble. Dissolve it into the suitable solvent. Make a saturated solution. Make a super saturated solution by heating it. Filter the solution in a hot condition. The impurities which are insoluble will be removed as a residue, and the filtrate in a hot condition will be collected. This filters consist of solvent, substance A and substance B till in a dissolved form. Then that filters will be heated and allowed to cool down. When that filter is allowed to cool down, substance being least soluble, that will crystallize, and B will remain in a soluble form till, because it is having a more solubility. Then this substance is filtered using the filter paper, or you can say second setup. It is filtered. When it is filtered, A remains into the filter paper. It is washed, dried, and taken. Whereas filtrate is again taken. The filtrate consists of solvent and dissolved substance B. That filter is again heated, evaporated, made more concentrated, and allowed to cool down. When it is cooled down, substance B crystallizes. The substance B crystallizes, again it is filtered, and substance B is removed with filter paper. It is washed and taken, and the filtrate consists of only solvent and soluble impurities. So this is the procedure from fractional crystallization. Here it may happen that when A crystallizes, some crystals of B must enter into this one. When B crystallizes, some crystals of A which remains in the solution may enter into this one. So in order to purify them more, repeat the first crystallization process. मतलब इस substance को dissolve करो, suitable solvent में heat करो, वापस evaporate करो, और cool down करो, filter करो. So this as repeated crystallization process will give you more and more pure substance. That is the procedure which is repeated for the purification, because when A crystallizes, some crystals of B must introduce in that one, or when B is crystallizing, some crystals of A or maybe of some impurities may introduce in this one. So that's why repeated crystallization is followed in order to obtain the purest form of the substance. So this is called a crystallization process. Clear with this? So that is what we can say crystallization. So crystallization is the process in which solid substances having impurities are separated by dissolving it into the suitable solvent. And the fractional crystallization used for separating two or more substances having difference in solubilities in a suitable solvent. And that is called the fractional crystallization process. Fractional crystallization for two substances. So this is also one of the important techniques that is called the crystallization and fractional crystallization. Clear? Any doubt to anyone? So if not, let's move to next. That is called the distillation process. So let's move to the distillation process. If you want to, you can take a screenshot for this one. ज़्यादा काम का है नहीं, मैंने बहुत काफी किया है, but फिर भी if anyone want, you can have this screenshot for this one. Okay. Thank you. Let's move to distillation process. Distillation process. Now, distillation is the process used whenever there are two liquids or whenever any liquid has to be purified. Distillation means distillation process, which is used for the liquids, not for the solids. Crystallization is mainly used for the solid, but distillation is the process which is used for purification or separation of liquids. Okay, so distillation is for the liquids. Suppose we have to purify. First is the purification, second is the separation. दोनों उसके अंदर आ जाते हैं, hand in hand type का हम लोग कह सकते हैं. So if we have to purify any of the liquid, say it's water at home, हमारे घर में water होता है और हमें water अगर purify करना है, so this water may have two types of impurities. Number one, the impurities which are dissolved into the water. And number two, the impurities which are insoluble into the water. So that is the liquid what we have to separate out. Now, if that water has insoluble impurities, then this water has undergone a filtration process, just simple filtration process. So whenever water is filtered, the impurities which are insoluble in water will be removed with the filter paper, parchment paper, whatever you are using as a filtrating membrane. So that will remain in that one, and the filtrate will be obtained. Now the filtrate is free from insoluble impurities. Now this filtrate has, or that water has, the impurities which are soluble in that. Now how we are going to separate the soluble impurities in liquids? So in order to separate the soluble impurities into the liquid, the distillation process is followed, or distillation process is used. How it is? So it is the process. Distillation में क्या किया जाता है? It is the process in which liquid is converted into vapors, vapors are condensed, and the pure substance is obtained. तो इसका process क्या होता है? Liquid is distilled, converted into vapors, vapors are condensed, and it is pure liquid is obtained. Pure liquid is obtained. So अब देखिएगा थोड़ा सा सेटअप देखिएगा यहाँ पे. So पहला जो स्टेप है फिल्ट्रेशन है. फिल्ट्रेशन किस लिए है? To remove insoluble impurities. Insoluble impurities. And this distillation is mainly used for the liquids, for the purification of liquid or for the separation of liquids. So filtration to remove the insoluble impurities. And next is distillation. Distillation is the process which is used for to remove the soluble impurities from the water या फिर liquid. इसके लिए डायग्राम देखिएगा. What is the procedure? पहले डायग्राम देखते हैं, फिर प्रोसीजर थोड़ा सा इजी आएगा. Suppose this is the round bottom flask. Round bottom flask has side up A, like this one. Here a thermometer is kept. Here is the liquid taken, and this is kept This is the wire. Here is the tripod stand. Here is the burner. And it is heated. It is heated. So this is heated. Here is the side stand. So here is the side stand. This is hanged to the side stand. This thermometer is also hanged to this one. Here is the condenser. So this is what we can say container. Now this is the simple diagram what we can see here for this distillation process. Now see, सबसे पहला लिक्विड को हमें अगर प्यूरिफाई करना है तो उसे उसके अंदर दो इंप्योरिटीज हो सकते हैं, एक तो सोल्यूबल और एक इनसोल्यूबल. Insoluble impurities are removed by just filtration process, and then there are some impurities which are in soluble format in the liquid. So this is the round bottom flask in which this liquid is taken, having the impurities in this one. This is clamped to the stand, kept on the wire tripod stand. There is a wire gauze, and it is a burner by which we can we can heat it. This is the thermometer which is clamped with the stand. This is the side arm with the condenser. This is the condenser. यहाँ पे water होता है, continuously flow होता है उसके अंदर water. So we can use the condenser like this. This is the water flowing this through the condenser. अभी condenser का structure देखिएगा. Condenser में ये जो straight line pipe जा रहा है अंदर से, वो pipe के surrounding में ये है. So ये surrounding में water है, तो जिसके अंदर से water continuously flow होता है. यहाँ से water जाएगा और यहाँ से निकल जाएगा. तो इसके अंदर continuously fresh water आता जाएगा. And here is another container which is taken to collect the pure substance. What is the procedure? What is the procedure? Take a liquid here which has the impurities in the dissolved format. Put some pieces of porcelain in order to avoid the bumping. Bumping मतलब थोड़ा सा जो bump होता है heating करते समय वो avoid करते हैं, इसके अंदर थोड़े से porcelain pieces डाले जाते हैं. So these are the porcelain pieces. These porcelain pieces will avoid the bumping of this. Now heat this. Clamp a thermometer. Now, when this is heated, record the temperature on the thermometer. When the boiling point of this liquid is attained, this thermometer will show a constant reading. Suppose it's water. अगर ये water है, तो this thermometer will show 100 degrees Celsius temperature because it's a boiling point. So, when it is heated, it will convert into the vapors. These vapors will come into this condenser. Condenser में आके these vapors will get condensed because यहाँ पे water का flow है, continuous flow of water है, cool down होगा, that will condense, and this will collect it here drop by drop. So this will be collected here drop by drop. So this is the pure substance. You can say this is pure liquid. Pure liquid. Now, till all the water which is over here, it is vaporized and collected here. This thermometer shows a constant reading. Constant reading. अभी मानो इसके अंदर हमें हमारे पास 100 ml का ये सॉल्यूशन है जिसके अंदर 90 ml हमारा water है और 10 ml उसके अंदर impurities है. So till all the 90 ml water goes into this one, this thermometer will show constant reading. The moment all water has gone and what remains behind is nothing but the impurities. Temperature start rising. The moment temperature start rising, remove this filter and stop the heating. Remove this condenser or remove this container and stop the heating. The reason behind that, जैसे पूरा water निकल जाएगा 100 डिग्री सेल्सियस जब तक टेम्परेचर है, जब तक पूरा वाटर है तब तक ये टेम्परेचर 100 डिग्री रहेगा. जिस मोमेंट में टेम्परेचर बढ़ रहा है इसका मतलब है यहाँ पे वाटर निकल गया और दूसरा कोई सब्सटेंस प्रेजेंट है जिसका बॉइलिंग पॉइंट से ज्यादा है, एंड देन दैट विल बी कलेक्टेड हियर. वो यहाँ पे इसके अंदर कलेक्ट हो जाएगा. सो सिंपल टेक्निक, दैट इज डिस्टिलेशन, जो हमने ऑलरेडी 10th में भी पढ़ा था, 9th में भी पढ़ा था. गेटिंग इट? सो दिस इज कॉल्ड एज डिस्टिलेशन प्रोसेस. ऑल ऑफ यू गेटिंग इट? सो व्हाट इज डिस्टिलेशन प्रोसेस? Distillation process is the process of purification or separation of liquids by converting it into vapors, and vapors are allowed to condense and the pure substance is obtained. That is nothing but you can say distillation. इसका principle क्या है? Distillation का principle important जैसा crystallization का था. Crystallization का principle है difference in solubility. वैसे यहाँ पे भी है difference in boiling point. So distillation process is based on the difference in boiling point. This substance, इसके अंदर impurities दो type के हो सकते हैं. देखिए वापस एक बार, इसके अंदर जो impurities है दो टाइप के हो सकते हैं, soluble, insoluble. Insoluble होंगे तो filtration से निकालेंगे. Soluble impurities दो टाइप के हो सकते हैं, having a boiling point greater than the substance or boiling point less than the substance. Boiling point less होगा, first they will be collected, और अगर उनका boiling point ज्यादा होगा तो they will be removed afterwards. Generally we use the method, distillation method for those substances in which the boiling point of substance is lower and the boiling point of impurities is higher. We deploy this method when the boiling point of impurities is higher and the boiling point of pure substance is less. What is the procedure we have followed for this one? We have taken a round bottom flask and the liquid, impure liquid is put in this one. Thermometer is put in this one. It is clamped with a stand. The round bottom flask is kept on the wire gauze, which is kept on the tripod stand, and below is the burner by which we can heat it. This round bottom flask has the side of air with which it is connected with a condenser. Condenser has a continuous flow of the water in order to cool down the vapors. Now the procedure is that whenever this circuit is completed, at that time the substance is heated. When this heated, it starts vaporizing. अभी इसके अंदर हमने क्या देखा कि the substance has a lower boiling point and impurity has a higher boiling point. When this substance is heated, substance starts vaporizing, and when it starts vaporizing, this thermometer shows a constant reading. Vapors comes here into the condenser, they are cooled down, and cool liquids are collected here drop by drop. Pure substance is collected here, pure liquid is collected here. Till all the liquid gets converted to here, this thermometer shows the constant reading. The moment this reading starts increasing, we have to carefully watch it out. When its temperature starts rising, stop the heating, remove this condenser, put another condenser. That is what we can say. This is the way how we separate. This is the pure septum, impurity remains behind. Before heating, add some pieces of porcelain in order to avoid bumping. So this is what you can say distillation process. Clear with this? Tomorrow we'll see the fractional distillation process and fractionating columns. Thank you very much. See you tomorrow.